Hello, I'm Executive Chef Ron Webster of Humble Servant Catering, and I'd like to re-welcome you and or introduce you to first installment of my series, a culinary reaction channel entitled A Flavor to Savor. So this, as you know, or as you'll see, this is featuring Club Shay and Keith Lee, where Keith Lee tells his life story or whatnot and how he got to be like to the position he is in as far as in the culinary world as a food influencer and basically a marketer for restaurants and things like that. So look, I just want to just thank you for making it this far. And if this is the first video that you've seen in the series, go back and look at episodes 1 and 2. Parts 1 and 2 of episode 1, and episode 2 will be coming out real soon. But again, I just want to thank you and to just let you know and apologize, as mostly it's going to be audio only because I'm still working on the editing and everything like that. But I had a great time putting it together. Hopefully you'll enjoy half as much, at least as half as much as I did putting it together for you. So take care and just go ahead and enjoy. Remember, it's always good to be good. God bless. All right. Here we go again. This is Chef Ron with some flavor to savor. You know what I mean? I finally made it back. This is a new day. It's going to be part 3 of episode 1. And we're dealing with Club Shay featuring Keith Lee, food influencer. Well, he doesn't call himself an influencer, but that's what he does. He influences people to go try other places' food or whatnot. But really what he is a marketing expert. That's what he is. He actually is the marketing that most new restaurants can't afford to have. And so once he goes there and he tastes it and says that your food is good, well, then you're official like a referee's whistle. You understand what I'm saying? And line is out the door, and the next thing you know, you complain about too much business coming in at one time. So that's a great problem to have, by the way. So look, I'm going to go ahead. I just come in from working out a little bit or whatnot. You know what I mean? Got my workout sweatsuit on, and I feel great. You know what I mean? I hope that y'all are enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying doing it. If you can do half as much, that'll be fine by me. You know what I'm saying? This is my first installment of this particular series. Plan to find more content and whatnot. So if there's anything you want to share or you'd like me to react to or talk about or whatnot, we can react on it. I can react on it, and you can enjoy that. Or it may be some stuff that I might run across, and hopefully you'll be able to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. That way you'll be able to enjoy it with me. You know what I mean? I plan to bring good stuff pertaining to the culinary industry, the culinary field of culinary arts. Understand what I'm saying? So look, shout out to those who have made it this far. If you saw episode 1, part 1, if you saw part 2, man, double shout out to you. You get what I'm saying? And here we go with part 3. So again, remember what I said: like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you like in, and if you feel, that you desire to do so, go ahead and share. You know what I'm saying? That's how we want to build this community. I'm not sure how many views this particular video is going to generate. I don't know. I'm still new to this social media, creating content kind of thing and whatnot. We did another video about father lessons. You know what I'm saying? From father to son. I was with my son, and we had 96 views. That's the most I've had for a video, and it's been less than a week. So we're going to be coming with that as well. So that's father lessons. We're going to talk about Pop the Balloon, react to that together, and who knows what else, what other kind of great content we'll have. So definitely share with us. We'll share with y'all, and y'all share with whoever you want to share with. All right. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Club Shay featuring Keith Lee. First episode that I'll be reacting to, that I'll be enjoying it with you or whatnot, and we're going to take it from here. By the way, this is a great interview. I mean, I don't know if I could have thought of a better interview to start reacting to other than Cat Williams, right? We all know about Cat Williams, but this is great. It's in depth, and Keith Lee is a real down-at-home individual who's on a mission. He knows he's on a mission. He loves the Lord, and he's been blessed accordingly. So let's go.
Oh, so you go to Sneaker Con and you go to Complex Con, you be buying sneakers?
Oh, yeah, Shannon.
You spend that kind of bread? She let you spend that kind of bread on kicks?
Only on shoes. Only on shoes. Shout out to Sacred Sneaks. I got a personal sneaker guy who's my best friend. He crazy. He 21, but he the type to be getting like pairs dunks that's worth $100,000, or he'll fly over to Italy just to sell one pair of shoes that's worth $80,000. When I get them, I don't be paying that.
Right.
But yeah.
What's the most expensive pair of sneakers? I don't have to know how much you paid for. What would you say you have? That's
close to 300 for me.
Probably my 1985 collection. I got maybe 6 pairs of Jordan 1s from 1985. All
year.
of them was a pretty penny.
Are you not? You're not going to wear them, are you?
I on my feet. I wear them when we was in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm one of them. Yeah. But yeah, I don't spend money on stuff that's other than shoes. So for me, I've always wanted to collect shoes. I've always wanted to be a sneakerhead, but I just never could afford it. I used to wear Airwalks in high school, and I used to get made fun of a lot. That was the only time, I wouldn't even say bullied, but people roasting. Yeah, I used to get roasted all the time for shoes. But it was, like I said, I either was wearing hand-me-downs or I was wearing, like I said, Airwalks or stuff that my mom and dad could afford.
Never had a pair of Airwalks. I think I remember.
I got in trouble once. My brother, he wore a size 12.
Like Vans.
I wore a size 8.5. I took a pair of his Air Force Ones and he used to like color them, like with this back when you used to get like white Air Force Ones and color them with the
Clown
color.
shoes.
Yeah.
I took a pair of them. I stuffed 3 pairs of socks in them, put them in my book bag. He was going to wear them to school that day. I had no idea. I put them in my book bag. I used to take the bus. So I walked to the bus stop. My mama, I had a full outfit back there too. I had a polo that came to like down here. It was supposed to come up here, but it was like down here.
Oh, you don't steal all your brother clothes, huh?
Oh, I'm stealing everything. I go
Trying to
to
be
school,
fitted.
I
I
go
feel
to
it.
the bathroom. I take rubber bands. This is no lie. I take rubber bands. I take the sleeves, put the sleeves up here, put the rubber bands up. I take the socks, put them in the shoes. I'm walking around school looking like Bozo the Clown. My shoes coming up here. My mama, I'm walking through the hallway feeling like that guy. I randomly hear my mama voice. You know, your mama voice cut through everything.
Yeah.
I randomly hear my mama voice. I look up and she's standing there with my brother. Like, that was his outfit for the day.
Busted.
I'm like, oh, I started running. Book it. I'm running through the hallway. They end up catching me, end up putting the other clothes back on. I got talked about that so much. Like,
Clown shoes got
for
clowned.
weeks, bro, for weeks. But now I think that has sparked the, now that I can afford the shoes that I've always wanted back then, I go and
Splurge.
treat myself a little bit.
Did you get to see my live on Whatnot a few weeks ago? I sold 300 pairs of sneakers from my personal collection, and all the proceeds are going to my alma mater, Savannah State, that's going to be donated at a later date and time. The best part of the night was someone purchased a pair of shoes off my feet. For those who don't know, Whatnot is a live stream shopping platform where you can buy and bid on items in just about every category you can think of. For the sneakerhead, Whatnot is celebrating the best sneakers of 2024 with 2 days of crazy deals and giveaways from hundreds of sellers. You don't want to miss it. It's on December 5th and 6th on Whatnot. Use my code Shannon15 for $15 off your first purchase over $20.
Word.
Not
That's tonight.
knowing
You'll be able to see
how
this on the
long
6th, I'm sure.
This is going to last. Hopefully it lasts another 10, 15,
Lord
20
says
years.
so.
Investing. Are you a big investor now and be smart with your money? Because like you said, you never imagined in your wildest, I don't even know if you thought if you become a professional MMA fighter, you'd be making bread like this.
1,000%. So again, I have a very strong team behind me. Like you said, we just bought our first house. It's been maybe like a year and a half, almost. Yeah, I would say like a year and a half where we started making this kind of money. We are doing big things, Shannon. First, shout out to BT and shout out to Churchy. We about to be on TV. We're going to do a sitcom, Churchy, Kevin on Stage, one of my best friends. He has a sitcom that runs on normal cable and it runs on BT Plus. That's big for us. You know, normal cable is different. It's different when you want an app, but if you could just scroll on cable, you can see a TV show. That's a different level.
Look out for that.
So I think that's investing and reinvesting in ourselves. The first year and a half, we literally just took all of the money that we was making and we put it right back into what we was doing. So with Food Tour, like I said, all of that, most of that comes out of pocket.
Right.
Because when you got too many hands in it, people.
All right, Dennis.
Get to tell you how to do it and what to do. I like my family being on the forefront. And when I work with companies, if I was work with a company that sponsored the whole Food Tour, I don't think that'd be the reality. So we really just invested all of our money right back. It's very expensive to go on the road like that. Like, it ain't no joke. Like, from hotels to flights to, like I said, the restaurants itself to just driving around in a Sprinter all day. It add up, bro. Like, but again, to get a blessing, you got to be a blessing. And pouring into what I feel like I was called to do, has brought us to where we are now. I think I'm gonna speak it into existence. These next few years are gonna be like insane. I don't know where I'm gonna be. I'm saying it right now. When I look back at this 3-4 years from now, as long as I'm with my family and I'm happy, that's all that matters to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impersonations. You become people like to parody. They like to parody you now.
Yeah,
How do
they
you
be
feel
messing
about
with
that?
him.
It's hilarious to me. It's one of those things where I feel like it's only a few people who's done it well. Keenan Thompson being one of them when he did SNL. Yeah, he did it perfectly. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I like when people are realistic about the impression. A lot of times it's like a trope to impersonate me, and it's like a very stereotypical, like, hi, my name is Keith Lee. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. I don't talk like that. I don't sound like that at all.
Yes,
It'd be like
you do.
real high pitched and real like stuffy. The only reason I speak in that cadence and that again, you're doing a great job because we touching stuff that I didn't even think we was gonna touch. The only reason I speak like that is because, again, my social anxiety. If I don't slow down, you won't understand anything that's coming out of my mouth.
Right.
They always say,
problem
like you said, I got a speech impediment. That's why I said, who told you I got a
Fast.
speech impediment? You been talking to my wife before the
Trying to get it
conversation?
out. Anxious to get it out.
So it's like they always talk about my voice. So the only way that I can make sure I'm enunciating and you can hear me is to slow down and talk in a very monotone, relaxed way. But if you do an impersonation, it just got to be like, calm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more than anything. I don't talk like this.
Keenan said he tried the Hennessy Habanero Fruity Pebbles chicken sandwich from Lisa Soul Foods
Yeah, that's horrible.
in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
he got
I
it.
ain't watch
Shout
all
out
of
to
that. Sounds
SNL.
like
Yeah,
terrible.
he got it. Yeah, he got it.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, you give him a 10 for that.
Yeah. He was the best one so far. There is a guy who he been impersonating me for like a year and a half to the point where that's like his main page now.
Yeah. Is that the evil Keith Lee?
No, his name.
You got an evil Keith Lee.
I got a few Keith Lee doppelgangers, but it's one guy. He does like Keith Lee parodies, but he's like in Atlanta.
Keith Lee doppelgangers. So I guess that's those people that try to do evil person impersonations of them or troll them in an evil way. Just learn the word doppelgangers.
And we met him in person. We don't look nothing alike.
Really?
He like 6 feet tall. He's like 6 feet tall. He had like plaits. He didn't even have locks. And he walked up. He's like, yeah, people tell me we look like all the time. I was looking. He was like 6'2".
Hold up, because I like to learn. Let's see what it means. Let's be sure that I heard it right. Can't take everybody's word for everything. So, doppelganger meaning someone who looks spookily like you but isn't a twin is a doppelganger. Originally, this was a type of ghost. The word doppelganger is German and literally means double walker, as in a ghost or a shadow of yourself. So, that's what was kind of right. It looked like he used the word right. An apparent apparition of or double of a living person. Okay. Close, but I feel it. He said close, but no cigar. Oh, we want to go back to our video. Let's go.
I looked up
What'd you
at
say?
him.
No, we don't.
I'm 5'9". Like, but I feel like impersonation wise, yeah, it's definitely Keenan got it.
Right. You did run into some controversy with Taraji P. Henson.
Oh, let's talk about it, Shannon.
What happened?
What happened? I heard about that.
So, again, these are things that I've never talked about, specifically because I like my family being on the forefront and I like the restaurant to be the main focus. The only time I do speak on it is when I feel like it's starting to affect my family or it's starting to affect the money that I bring in for my family. But like the details of it, I've never gotten into the details, so we'll get into the details. So I had a conversation with BET before we had walked out or anything. We did a convention. It was like a foodie con or something, maybe like a week before, and we met one of the heads from BT there.
Okay.
And we did the BT Awards the year before. So when we met her, she was like, "Oh yeah, what y'all wearing to the BT Awards?" At this point, we didn't even have an invitation. So I'm like, I don't know, we not going. She like, what? Everybody would love to have y'all there. Y'all gotta be there. We love y'all so much. And this whole year, we had worked with BT maybe like 3 or 4 times prior to this.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah, we love you. We want you here. Like, we had a full conversation. They ended up getting us the tickets. We had front row tickets. We had the red carpet and all of that. I told her beforehand, the love that y'all say that y'all have for us, I don't feel it. Because when y'all do mention us or y'all do bring us up in conversation, it's always the most negative thing that you can possibly talk about.
Oh.
It's always like the drama, or like it's never like we went to a restaurant and we was blessed enough to leave thousands of people at a restaurant that was about to close tomorrow, or like anything that was positive. And is 90%. I would like to think it's 90% positive what we do,
Right.
10% of the bullshit.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of times it was the bullshit that was being brought up. So I had a conversation with her transparently about it, and we talked about it. We talked again before we went up into the award show. We were sitting backstage, and I was talking to one of the heads of BT, and I told her the same thing. And I was saying, you don't have to include us. I'm okay with being in the Sprinter van with my family and just eating food. That's more than enough for me. If you are going to include us, include it from a place that y'all want us here, and not just because we viral or we food influencers that like
We the
are
new
big
thing,
right
the
now.
latest thing.
They
I feel you,
include
bro.
it from a place of the love that you say that you have for us.
Right.
Because what I don't like is that you come to us every time you see me, it's immediately like, oh, we love you so much, we want to do this, we want to do that, and then nothing comes out of it, right?
Right.
So we go to the award show. We sitting behind DC.
Word, what did it say? Disclaimer. Keith says getting to the show the day of was hectic, including tickets not being ready and members of his team's tickets not being available. Okay, that's a problem.
Young Fly. We sit next to, what's his name? No, the original seats that we were in. We would sit next to an older guy, and everybody was like being super rowdy. And me and him, we talking, we having conversations, we laughing with each other. I'm telling him, like, you ain't got to worry about my wife standing up and twerking. We sitting here, we enjoying the show. We laughing, we having a ball. So it's probably halfway through the show, a person from BET walks up, or a person from production walks up, and she says, hey, we about to switch your seats in a minute because we're doing a episode, or we doing a segment to where we giving people their flowers, right? Mind you, I just talked to BET an hour ago, and I'm like, y'all don't have to do this. I'm okay sitting in these seats, having conversations with, I think his name was Dr. Bobby Jones. We sit next to Dr. Bobby Jones. I'm like, this is more than enough for me.
Right.
Like, I'm more than thankful just to be here. They like, no, we gonna sit you on the front row, and we gonna give you your flowers, and we really want to highlight you. We really want to, and I'm saying all of this to the production lady, like, don't bring us up here with the boy. Like, I'm okay with sitting here. She's like, no, come on. So they come get us maybe like 10 minutes later. They put us in Tyler. She was sitting there. She had got up and left. So they put us in Tyler's seats. Sit next to Tyler. We sit next to Jordan and...
Michael Jordan?
What's
Michael B.
Jordan?
Jordan?
No, Jordan the Stallion. He's a guy from TikTok.
Okay.
He does like the... where he like turn his camera around, he in the bathroom, and he like do like reaction videos.
Okay.
Me and Jordan look nothing alike.
Okay.
Again, Jordan 6'2", big scruffy beard. He got a curly afro. Me and Jordan are really friends too. That's what made all of this even crazier. So me and Jordan, we sitting there. Taraji come out, and this is the biggest thing that I want to get.
This is live too. Yeah.
I didn't blame Taraji for 1 second because it was all production that was making things that didn't have to be made.
Right.
They was making a spectacle that had no business being a spectacle. So they come around. She's starting to do her segment. We're reading the prompter, and on the prompter is saying like, give Fly J her flowers, say this about Fly J, do this, that, and the third. So she read off of the prompter for Fly J specifically. She do like 2 or 3 more people. She come over to us, and she immediately walked past me, walked to Jordan, and she started talking to Jordan as if Jordan was me. And I'm reading the prompter, and the prompter is saying like, tell Keith Lee, give Keith Lee his flowers, this, that, and the third. And she look at Jordan and she go, I bet you rate this award show 10 out of 10. And Jordan go, oh, no, that's him. Mind you, at this whole time, I'm not upset at Taraji at all. I'm like, I understand a whole bunch is going on. They just threw this on you. They didn't have to throw this on you.
Right.
Again, we was okay sitting in the back. Like, they just made this a last-minute ditch effort to give us our flowers. They had she come over. She like, oh, my bad. She immediately start, like, improvising because, again, this is a situation where it's a lot going on. So she...
Before we go further, because I haven't seen this before, I'm on YouTube. I can't go do it. I was finna go take a look at the video. But
she starts saying, like, you look good, too. Even though my wife is sitting right here, she like, oh, you look good. Give him his flowers, this, that, and the third. And then she tell Jordan that he look good. And just a whole bunch of improv. She leave, me and Jordan looking at each other like, what just happened? Like, it was the craziest thing. I'm sitting there like, you didn't have to do that. Like, my wife and I were more than content with just being in the moment. So,
sitting in the seats where we were, chilling, having a good time talking.
You didn't have to do all of that. So,
but you would put us in that spot and F it up.
For no reason. now that I open my phone, literally when I say 5 seconds after it happened, I open my phone, be the number one thing on Twitter. And it's like, Keith Lee looked so embarrassed. His wife looked humiliated. And his wife, she was flirting in front of his wife. She was this, that, and the third. And they was just dragging the situation out. And I took the rose that they gave me. I dropped it on the floor. The reason I dropped it on the floor, because this whole time, I'm like, that's not for me. That wasn't meant for me. What was meant for me was to sit there where I was sitting at and mind my business. Mm-hmm. Because if it was meant for me, it would have went just as smooth as everything else was going. Like I said, we were sitting there laughing.
Pause. He might be right, but there still could be some good that come out of it. You know, it's like in the Bible where, you know, I don't know what the intentions were with BET. You know, Taraji been making a lot of noise. I remember she came out doing her thing, talking about put the women forward and everything. So she been catching it. All right, she's been catching it. And maybe they was trying to make Taraji look bad and just, you know, ruffle his feathers and stuff in the meantime. But my point is, in the Bible it says, what's meant for evil, God turned it in for good. I pray that it turned out good for him. And I think it already did for Taraji. I think she just picked up another movie or something. I'm not a big movie buff. Remember I told you it's food, it's food, it's music, and you know, it's about black love. That's what my podcast gonna be about. But anyway, let's pray that something good come out of it. It is good. You know, Shay telling the story. That's great.
Smiling, having fun. When I dropped the rose, I was speaking directly to production. Like, don't do this again. If we gonna come and we gonna enjoy the Royal Show, enjoy it how we had the conversation. Mind you, I know all of this is happening because I had the conversation with them before. But people online, they just see, oh, he dropped the rose, he talking directly about Taraji. So they make it into a huge thing of like me disrespecting her, this and third. So I take the video down because I am a supporter of black women and I'm a supporter of us as a people. And to see her on stage killing it the way she killed it, I didn't want that to be
the memory
clouded by the unnecessary bullshit. So I took the video down specifically for that reason. But then, you know, people dig into that. They're like, why he take the video down? It's because people was getting on his head and this and the third. So Taraji come out and she say, yeah, his ego was hurt. And the whole time, I'm like, Taraji, I didn't have no issue. I didn't have no problem with you. If anything, I feel like she should have understood that I was talking directly to production. Because I know the situation that she was in. We was in it together. We was literally looking at the prompter and the teleprompter together. So I understand that it was nothing that she did. It just was a spare of the moment kind of thing.
Misunderstandings be misunderstood, man. I'm telling you. There's an old school saying that I like to hear. It's like, but don't become perplexed by the perplexed because it will have you perplexed. You know what I mean? Now we're blowing it out of proportion. You know what I mean? Like I said, I still hope something good come out of it. Let's see what else he said. I'm going to take it back just a little bit, then we're going to move forward.
And I felt like, because I know the situation that she was in. We was in it together. We was literally looking at the prompter and the teleprompter together. So I understand that it was nothing that she did. It just was a spare of the moment kind of thing. And I felt like she would understand that I wasn't coming from a place of attacking her. But it was one of those things where it was like, it is what it is. I still got love for Taraji. I never had no ill will in my heart for her. I still got love for BT. That's why I said we doing the BT thing. Because I called them. We had I still haven't had a conversation with Taraji. But BT called me and we had a full conversation. I told them exactly how I felt. And they apologized. And they was like, we understand that it was super last minute. And next time we do something, we going to plan it out. And we actually going to think about it and make it a heartfelt thing if we going to actually do it.
But how did it make you feel for probably the first time since you started and you became this internet sensation that you had people kind of come for you? How did you handle it? How did your wife handle it? Because you guys are a package deal.
I was pissed off. But I was pissed off from a perspective of it was being made as if I was going at Taraji. I don't care what people say about me. People have been talking about me my whole life. So I told her I've always been the one that stick up for myself. So that part in my head, again, I don't see myself like that anyway. Right. So you can say he ain't a celebrity. He want to be a celebrity. I want to be Keith. I want to be nothing else. Right. So when those comments was coming, I wasn't paying no attention to it. Only time I ever got upset is when people was like, he's down in black women. He's taking away from the shine of a black woman in a black woman's time where she was doing something amazing for us and pushing the culture forward. That's when I was getting pissed off. Because I didn't want it to be misconstrued that I was coming to her. My family will tell you, I literally was having a conversation with them and I was like, bro, if they just leave her out of this. And then when she started getting mad at me, I'm like, why are we going at it? Like, why is it always spun to where it's two of us that look the same, getting into altercation that don't need to be had.
Would you have felt better had she just if she would have picked up the phone, or somebody could have put you guys in contact with each other so you guys could talk to this thing?
1,000%. Yeah.
Man to woman.
Rather than just saying like, oh, his ego hurt. Like, I feel like but again, I don't expect anything because we don't have no personal relationship.
Right.
I understand it was just as stressful for her to get all of those comments and getting all of the feedback. And so just as stressful, and again, it was clouding what she was doing that night.
Right.
So I understand the frustration from her end, because she like, I'm doing something that I've always dreamed about doing, and getting, because she came out publicly about her not getting the respect that she deserves.
Right.
And she was getting the respect that she deserved that night, and it got clouded by something as stupid as dropping a rose.
Man.
So I feel like from her perspective, I fully understand. I said, I don't hold no ill will or no feelings towards her. It's one thing that I did want to talk about.
What's up?
I didn't even think about it. The BET Wars. Again, I never spoke on this before. There was a video that came out of a guy walking up in Gerald Houston. He walk around with the cameras, the cameras on his glasses, and he purposely mistaken people for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it to us, and he called me DDG, and he walked up, and it turned into like a fiasco of us like actually getting into it. I want to make it very clear, because again, I never spoke on it. I didn't have no problem with Gerald. Gerald grabbed me.
Right.
He walked up the thing, and he grabbed my waist.
Right.
And I was like, hey, don't do that.
Right.
It's the difference between him saying, oh, you DDG. I'm the type to laugh about that. I don't care about
No, I'm not
people
DDG.
trolling.
But
But I don't care about people trolling.
Yeah, but
me and DDG stood next to each other. He came. I just met his mama. Was that last week? And my whole family said we look alike. So from that part, I was like, I can laugh like.
I'm sorry. I need to see who DDG is. Who is DDG? So let's see. Who is DDG? I don't know who that is. Oh, YouTuber and rapper. All right, let's see an image. And Keith Lee. See if they got a picture of them together. Oh, they favor. Yo, for sure, they favor, for real. Yeah, okay, I see what the problem could be. All right. So far, like he telling the truth. It's Cat Williams all over again. Look like he telling the truth. I mean, it's not detrimental like Cat's was, but it's giving him more props, though, making him look better and better.
Right.
I just don't like next to each other. He came.
Let me, on that note, just like the aftermath since the Cat Williams video, everything that's happened since then make Cat look realer and realer, truer and truer. They have not found nothing, not one thing bad about Cat Williams since that interview. All right.
I just met his mama. Was that last week? And my whole family said we look alike. So from that part, I was like, I can
look
laugh.
alike.
Right.
I just don't like being touched.
Is the touching part.
So I want to make that very clear. I think that was one of my biggest things I wanted to get off while we're doing this, is that, like, if we trolling, you trolling. I get that. I just don't like being touched, bro. Like, I think that comes from me being a fighter my whole life, and from just anxiety in general, and me being outside and really trying to get to that space of being comfortable in those spaces of 1,000 people around us and taking pictures and whatnot. I'm getting a lot better, and I do pride myself on that. It's just the touching.
Right.
That takes me immediately back to, like, get away from me. Like, don't grab me.
Troll, but keep your hands to yourself.
Exactly. But it was fun to, like, I was mad that he was calling me DDG, and I wanted to be a celebrity, and I want him to know who I am, and I was mad he didn't know. I didn't care about none of that. I don't care if you know who I am. God know who I am, man. My family know who I am. That's what matters the most to me.
Go James and the Lakers are back putting on a show. And
This
I
Go
gotta get the best
James
deal on
stuff,
tickets.
man.
That's why I need to tell
All
you
right,
about my
Shay,
sponsor,
I rock with you,
SeatGeek.
but
with
not
over 28 million
Stephen A.
downloads,
on side on
SeatGeek
this
is the
one.
#1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events on
James.
SeatGeek,
He a
including
fool for
concerts, sports. Each ticket is rated on $20 off.
They didn't make me, so they can't break me. It's fickle. It's very fickle.
I'm trying not
Carlos
to
said
miss
the
none of
other
the
day,
interview.
they
So
didn't
let's
make
see.
$20 off your first purchase with promo code Shay. What have you learned about fame?
What have you learned?
It's fickle.
Okay.
It's very fickle. Carlos said the other day, they didn't make me, so they can't break me. I don't listen to the positive or the negative. I just go and do what I feel like I'm supposed to do day by day. Fame is fake, in my opinion, because the second they deem that you is somebody and you somebody important and they love you, they hold you to the highest regard. The second that you show that you human, like you've been trying to say you human the whole time, they tear you down for being human.
That was very
We all
profound.
have sex on Instagram Live. You can't tear nobody down for that. You a human being at the end of the day. Like, for me,
That's messed
the
up.
second that people see that you human, they trying to take that. You a human being at the
Yeah,
end of the
let
day.
that go.
Sex. Somebody important.
We all have
love you.
sex.
They hold you to the highest regard. The second that you show that you're human, like you've been trying to say you're human the whole time, they tear you down for being human. We all have sex on Instagram Live, Shannon. Can't tear nobody down for that.
That's the way he looked at the camera for me. Hold on.
All have sex on Instagram Live. Can't tear nobody. You've been trying to say you're human the whole time. They tear you down for being human. We all have sex on Instagram Live.
Look at the camera when he said though.
Can't tear nobody down for that. You're a human being.
You're a comedian too.
Like,
wow, that's perfect
for me,
timing.
the second that people see that you're human, they try and ridicule you for it, and I hate that part of it. Like, bro, I'm a mess up. Yeah, I'm gonna do stuff that you feel like celebrities ain't supposed to do. Celebrities are human beings, just like you.
Short.
Like,
That's
again,
right.
we
That's
in the
right.
apartment that everything started in. This ain't no set. Like, this is legit where like my life like spanned to what it is now.
Changed.
Like, literally changed dramatic. Like, I vividly remember standing up, screaming to the top of my lungs when we first met our first like $50,000. So to be back here and being multi-millionaires with me and my wife, like it feels like, again, it feels like I'm human, and that the fame aspect tries to rip that apart and tries like to not let you be human, and I hate it.
I have a very interesting story I heard. I don't know if it's true. You can confirm this. Your wife, you took her.
Not you took her. Okay, yeah, that's true.
She was with someone, and you came along and promised, baby, I'm going to take you away from this.
Hey, Shannon.
She over there laughing. She laughing. How did you...
Before we get to the story, I got to tell you, I'm about to get intent on this because I'm big on not messing with somebody who's with somebody. You know what I mean? For those that know me, and I'd be other times to share this, not the particular video, but, you know, I almost lost my mom in a situation like that. So I've been traumatized since the age of 11. So I really don't have no eyes for somebody else's prize. You know what I mean? God got something for me, got the one for me. That's what I want. All right, let's see. I'm intrigued, though. I'm intrigued, very intrigued. I want to hear what he said.
No, she was the one. Because at first you didn't, because you still was carrying on with you.
Yeah, I was on some bullshit.
You still was
wow.
you was
Yeah,
like
I was on some bullshit. Like I said, we met when I was like 18, 19.
Right.
So I wasn't in a space to be like, her mom knew it from jump. That's the crazy part. I met her mama. We talk about this all the time. The second I met her mama, I walked in, I was trying to be real polite, and I tried to sit down and be like, hi, can I sit down in the chair? She was like, boy, if you don't sit your ass down. She was like, you ain't fooling nobody. I swear it's a true story. She's like, you ain't fooling nobody. And I had a conversation with her. She told me to my face, she was like, you ain't ready for my daughter. I'm thinking I'm being smooth. And I'm like, what? What you mean? Like, we gonna be together for... She's like, you about to cheat. I see it. I can see it in your face. I can see you're not serious. Like... She was right. I was a kid. I was
Mom, you about to blow my cover.
Immediately. I'm talking about off the rip, out loud to everybody. But again, mom was always no.
Yeah.
I was definitely on some bullshit early. But what made me know that she was the one, we had broke up because, again, I was cheating and she was cheating and we just was doing dumb kid shit. When I was with other people, I was trying to find her and them. And every single thing that they would do, I would compare to her. And I'd be like, but you don't do it this way. You don't do this. You don't do that. And again, listening to God, I remember we had a conversation and I told her straight to her face, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it serious. And we're going to take it completely serious.
I think we all guilty of that. Whether we voice it openly or to ourselves, we are always going to be comparing whomever it is to somebody we've been with. You know what I mean? If you ain't been with somebody like that make you think that way, just keep on living. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be characteristics that you look for that somebody else had that you're going to look for in this new person. Although this new person is going to give you some new characteristics, but you're going to always want some of those other characteristics too. I'm still dealing with that, learning that nobody's perfect, but it's just the way that it is. It's the human in us.
And I devoted my life to her when that was in 2018, and ever since then, I don't even look at nobody else. Like, that's everything I need, bro.
That's what's up.
How important is it for you to find a woman because she was with you during the struggle? Because it's easy. This Keith Lee, a lot of women, hey, why the boy know he look, he everything I've been looking for.
You ain't never
She
lied.
was there when you had nothing. And as you started to build, she's been right alongside you.
He knows she like him for him.
How important is that for a man to find, or a woman, to find that person during the struggle?
That's everything, bro. Like, when you say nothing, it's that I don't even think you understand, Shannon. When we first moved in together, so we was living with my brother at the time. Like, see, he had the money. Once I took it serious and was like, I'm really devoted to this relationship. Like I said, 2018 into 2018, early 2019, we moved out and we got an apartment together. Or I ain't gonna say we got an apartment together. She got an apartment under her cousin's name.
Right.
She moved in. I moved in behind her. I wasn't paying no rent. I had no money.
Right.
I wasn't bringing no money in, no income. When I say that house got broken in, we was there for. We stayed in a lower apartment that was on the bottom floor. It was right in front of. We was on Boulder Highway in Russell. If you from Vegas, you know that's the stroll. Like it get like that over there.
Yeah.
We saw somebody get shot in the front. When I say like literally outside of our window to where we had to, I opened the window. I saw her get shot in the stomach. I went and crawled in a closet just in case they kept shooting and stray bullets came in. We had a dog at the time, so it was me and her on the floor with our dog. Somebody broke into the house while I was like walking across the street to go get something from the gas station because we was eating out the gas station. That's how we was eating our dinners. In the Roberto's, if you know Roberto's in Vegas, it's like a little burrito spot. We was eating Roberto's and sharing it. Somebody broke into the house. Somebody broke into our car maybe a week after that, and they left somebody's wallet on the floor. And I'm thinking, oh, I found the person who broke into the car. I go search the wallet. I find the ID. I'm walking around the complex asking everybody who this man was. I end up finding him. It was a guy who stayed in the complex. I walk up ready to fight. I take my shirt off. I'm running up to him. He got a gun on his hip. I'm like, I'm not thinking about none of that. He come tell me, he like, somebody broke into my house, into my car, took my wallet, put it in your car on purpose so you can come down here and do this. He was ready to blow my head off, Shannon. For her to be with me in that moment, it meant like, no matter what happens, she see me at my worst. Like, worst is understatement. She seen me to a point where like, financially, I was at my worst, physically, spiritually, mentally. No matter what happens with social media, with the money, I always know I got a dog with me. Like, I think it's a different feeling when you walk in a room with a blue nose and you know you got somebody protecting you.
They're gonna ride.
Like, you got somebody that's gonna ride with you no matter what. It's like, I've already seen it. Like, I've seen it from the very beginning. Man, I owe my life to that woman.
Right. You have two daughters, and you hear the term girl dad. You want a son? You want a
Yeah, of course.
You
You know you want one, bro.
She's
I don't know,
smart,
man. A
she
lot of
definitely
don't want
do.
no son.
For me, my
want a
kids,
daughter.
I raise my kids just like kids. So I don't really look at the gender too much. I've always been like that. My daughter's rough, bro. Like, you walk in a room, you don't know what my daughter is. You don't know what they about to do.
Right.
So for me, I'm just happy I got healthy kids, man. Like, that's a blessing just to be able to say my kids are healthy. They walking around, they running, they playing. Like, I saw them in the backyard, and I could see like them, like they starting to become country already, and they only been there for a month. Like, cause we in Texas, so they starting to get little accents. When I want a son, I just want to help these kids.
Right.
We probably gonna get 1 or 2 more.
1 or 2 more?
Yeah, 1 or 2 more.
See, now you got the space, you got acres, you got a big old crib.
That's a fact.
You straight now.
You ain't never lied.
You mentioned you were from Detroit.
Born and raised.
Got kicked out of 6 schools. You mentioned you were bad. You mentioned that you make no bones about it. I was a problem.
Absolutely, without question. It wasn't even like, maybe in the moment I was trying to find something to blame, but as an adult, absolutely.
It wasn't nobody. The teacher picked on me. They didn't like me.
Shannon.
Everything that I got, I deserved. It was
Absolutely, 1,000%. Because a lot of times, like I said, it was a miscommunication, and instead of trying to understand, I would just immediately lash out. I wasn't even like the type to try and if it was, I took a little bit from my dad. Like I said, it was his way or no way. I was doing the same thing, just in my own way. It was like, either you gonna communicate with me and tell me exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it, or I'm not listening to it at all. So in retrospect, I just followed behind what I knew, just tried to do it in my own way. In my head, I'm doing it completely different, but I was doing the same thing.
You mentioned that your father, what was your relationship? Because I remember you told me that what happened with the incident where he came home and got the gun, he ended up going to jail. What was the relationship with your father? You mentioned that he was old school. It was like, it ain't no, well, Keith, this is why we're doing it this way. Well, Keith, let me have this conversation with you. You doing it because I said do it.
Immediately.
And that's the end of the discussion. My grandpa used to always say, you don't ration with a child. You tell the child what you want them to do, and that's the end of the conversation. And that's how we brought up. So, what type of relationship did you have with your father?
As a kid, we didn't really have much of a relationship at all. He was a provider. He was a person who worked nonstop. He would literally go home. He would go to work. He was very typical. Go to work, bring the bacon home, get the biggest plate, get the biggest chicken wing, go upstairs, go to sleep, do the same thing the next day. As an adult, I take my hat off to him because no matter what, it was to a point where he literally told me, like, we don't have to have a relationship. Like fences. Like, he was Denzel Washington.
Yep.
I don't have to like you. I don't have to love you. I keep a roof over your head. I keep food in your stomach. That's all I have to do. And that's literally our relationship from me being in high school from like 8th, 9th grade to when I graduated.
I read you were,
That's deep.
you thought about suicide?
I didn't think about it. I did it.
Did you?
Full blown. Jumped off the balcony.
Did you break anything?
So me and my dad got into it. We got into it real bad. After the conversation,
Do you remember what the argument was about?
Okay, I give you something that I ain't gave nobody. Come on, Shannon. If we gonna get deep, we gonna get deep. Dad, I love you. Me and my dad are best friends now, and this is in the past. But we had gotten to it because he told me that I couldn't go somewhere. And I said, you. Who you telling me I ain't going?
Whoa.
Shannon.
That was your exact word?
Shannon.
He's bad.
What are you talking about? I'm
How you
going
gonna tell
outside.
this story now?
Shannon, he gonna kill me. Me and my dad are best friends now. My dad is right now in Texas with my daughters.
Okay.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I full blown got a little.
You feeling
My
good?
courage up.
Okay.
I was like I said, this is my senior year of high school. I was in a very deep, dark depression, to a place where like nothing mattered anymore. So I just was like, whatever about to happen is gonna happen. So I full blown was cussing him out. He was like, let's go in the backyard.
No, okay.
We went in the
You
backyard.
wanted to smoke, huh?
We got into it, did whatever we was about to do. He got in the car, left, went with his friends, and he told me that his friends was like, he gotta go. Like, he can't live in your house and treat you like that, speak to you like that. Like, you gotta go home and get him out of there, basically. So he came back home maybe like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He had something in his hand. I ain't gonna say what he had in his hand. He had something in his hand, sat on the edge of my bed, and he was like, if you move, something about to happen. I remember sitting up, and that's when he told me, like, we ain't gotta have no relationship. We gotta have you don't ever talk to me like that. You don't ever treat me like that, and you won't have no problems. But that happened again, it's over with. You can read between the lines.
I brought you in this world, I'll take you out.
So that put me into a place of like, if you gonna do it, I'm gonna do it before you do it.
Right.
So I walked outside. I grabbed a bunch of ties. I had like a collection. Well, he had a collection of ties. I grabbed maybe like 10 ties. I tied them together. He had like this makeshift garage. So the garage, and then there was like a awning that he had built, like a shed almost. Because it snows a lot in Michigan. So to be able to sit outside during the winter, he had made like a little makeshift, maybe like 10 feet off the ground. I took the ties, put it on top of the balcony, tied it up, tied it around my neck, stood on top of the cooler, pushed the cooler under my feet, started dangling in the air. I'm in the air for maybe like what felt like 10 seconds. I'm at the point where like you start trying to regress, but it's too late. So I'm like trying to grab the ties, I'm trying to pull myself up. My dad sees me. This is why I take my hat off to him. After everything we just went through, out of all of the conversations he just had of me not being his son no more, and we just he got to take care of me till I'm 18 kind of relationship. He came, picked me up, took me off them ties, and told me how much he loved me, and that's why I'm here today.
Wow.
I would have been gone, Shannon.
Was that the first time your dad ever told you he loved you?
The first time he said it like that, first time he said it in a way of like, I want you here. Like, I understand what we going through, and I understand that this is just a phase, and this is just a part of life, and we gonna make it together, and we gonna get out of it together. That was the first time where I felt it. He might have said it before, but that's the first time where I was like, oh, okay, I got you. Like, I understand. Now I'm living for something different than just myself.
And that was the first, and that completely changed your relationship with your father.
Real talk. I remember my homeboy, because I don't want to use myself as an example, but I remember my homeboy son. Him and his dad had got into it, and I didn't know nothing about it. I just seen him, and it was like he would always be around the neighborhood. His dad is from the neighborhood, but didn't live around there no more. And his dad was like a working man or whatever, but he was from the hood, though. He would get down, he could get down, you know what I'm saying, and everything else. But anyway, his son was around there, and one night he was like, "Nah, man, I'm mad at my dad. We got into it, woo, woo, woo," you know what I'm saying, and everything else. And I don't remember all of the details of what he told me because it mattered, but it didn't matter. And like I told him, it ain't until you have some kids of your own that you're going to understand where your dad is coming from. You know what I'm saying? You know, your dad don't want you to make the same mistakes what he made, and you ain't gonna really understand that until you have some kids of your own. Now he's on his second daughter, and him and his dad they cool. You know what I'm saying? And he loving and living life. He got a good woman evidently. You know, second kid with her. You know what I'm saying? So I truly wish him the best, but you know, it's something that we don't realize and don't appreciate until we're walking in that same path. You know what I mean? A path that's already been made by those who came before us. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't understand to a certain extent why younger people don't want to listen to older people. You 15 years old, you want to get to age 30. Why not listen to what the 30-year-old did to get there? You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of homeboys that died at 23 years old. You know what I mean? One of the biggest D-boys, dope dealers in where I grew up at, who everybody idolized, 23. You know what I mean? One of my partners who was kind of like that, and we was on the same level, you know what I'm saying? We was out there doing our thing, you know what I mean? Dead at 23. Then my little cousin who actually found a way out, but you know, he was still young and still hung around the same element whenever he'd come back home. He'd be gone for 6 months working as a merchant seaman. Then he'd come home and hang with the same people he hung with before when he was in the streets. Dead at 23. You know what I'm saying? So when I made it to 25, I was just like, wow. You know what I mean? 2 kids and life was cool. You know what I mean? To make it that far. You know what I'm saying? So, and real fast before I go ahead into this, just to give you the insight of a dad, you know, man, I can't speak for every father, you know what I'm saying? But I try to be a good dude, you know, man. Matter of fact, I got, look at the podcast, look at what we call them, you know what I'm saying? It's father lessons, you know what I mean? It's a play on the word, fatherless sons, because I had my father, he was accessible, but he didn't live with me, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm trying to give some stuff that fatherless sons are not able to figure out on their own, or sometimes it's not too much later. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff I figured out much later on by myself. You know what I mean? Why not illuminate a path that they don't have to make those mistakes, right? But then the dilemma of a good man, you know what I mean? I just said on part 1 of this video series that I'm going to change the name to the dilemma of a good one. You know what I'm saying? Because there's situations that come that, you know, there's some tough decisions that need to be made, and oftentimes we make the wrong decision. And I heard it said recently, I forgot where it was, but one night of passion could be a lifetime of pain. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful that both my kids is good, but when the first one, my oldest one, was born, you know, I prayed to the Lord. I said, you know, no disrespect to my dad, but I was like, Lord, I want to be a better dad than my father was. You know what I mean? So if my father's a number 8 dad, I want to be a number 9 dad. You know what I'm saying? That just, you know, better than. You know what I mean? For the right reason, you know what I'm saying? And Lord, please let me live till he be 18. You get what I'm saying? So for me to do that, I think I would have got to live to be 36 or something like that. 19 years, or actually 20 years older than him. So him 18, me 38. Wow, you know what I mean? And the Lord blessed me with that. But guess what? 7 years later, his brother was born. I'm like, Lord, let me live to see him be 18. You get what I mean? I was 25 years old at the time. You know what I'm saying? So now he's 25. I'm still here. It's by grace and mercy. That's why I love the Lord so much. So he has done exceedingly above all that I asked. You know what I'm saying? Still here, and they both doing well. So Keith Lee, now he got his kids. I'm sure he feel that to like the utmost.
Believe it. Yeah, absolutely. It was like when I say to a point where it was awkward after that. Like he just saw his son try to take his own life. So it was like, it can't just get back to normal immediately, right? But there was a level of like, we both got to try for this. Like, we both.
I think you have a new level of respect for him.
It's a new level. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I understood now, like, he do love you. He just don't. Again, he grew up without his father.
Yeah.
He grew up in inner city Detroit. He was in trouble a lot younger. So he just was doing the best that he could do with what he had.
Right.
That's all we can do.
Like I say, he taught me a lot of hard work. He taught me a lot of discipline. And I think that kind of put into perspective for me, like, all right, It's bad, but it ain't that bad.
A lot of men from his era, love was food on the table,
Absolutely.
clothes on your back, a roof over your head. That was love.
And for me, they always call me a mama's boy because my mama is the complete opposite. My mama like rubbing head,
Go hug you, yeah.
She was full blown like. To this day, my mama, what she called me? She called me Michael Jackson. I'm the biggest superstar that ever lived, ever exist. Oh, don't wait till this over. I'm FaceTime her, and she gonna freak out when she see you. She gonna panic. But it's gonna be from a place of like, oh, I knew my baby was a superstar. I knew he was gonna be there. Shannon better be in there talking to him. Like, so it was like I said, it was a balance of like, I got that from my mama, but then I would go over to my dad, and it would be the complete opposite. And it'd be like, nigga, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Like,
That's the way parents are supposed to be. That's what households are supposed to be. A father who's this way. Listen to the song Family Reunion at the end when he's talking. That's the perfect example. You know what I mean? The father, the mother, the son, the daughter. You know, that's what we're supposed to strive for. So, 100, bro. He's 100.
you're supposed to go up and go to school. You're supposed to be sitting here with Shannon. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. It wasn't like you said, it's old school. It wasn't no, like, tender love and care. It wasn't none of that. But he had 3 boys, so I understood it.
The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can customers bet 5 money move crown.
LeBron ain't going to win it, Shannon.
What's next on Keith Lee's bucket list?
What's
On my
next?
bucket list. Ooh, that's a great. Nobody ever asked me that. What's on my bucket list? I definitely want to go to Africa.
Okay.
Me too.
Not only from a food perspective. So even before we did food reviews, I've always been a foodie. So I fought in in North Africa and Morocco. My brother fought in Brazil. I fought in Canada a bunch of times. Every single time I went to those places, I was focused on the food. I would walk around, I would eat the food, I would go travel by myself, like literally just leave the hotel and just explore. But
Jamaica,
now
yeah.
that I'm in this space of like being a
Colombia.
true foodie and being paid to be a foodie, Africa is definitely on my bucket list. Like, I really want to do the Rwanda trek where you go and sit with the gorillas.
Gorilla, yeah.
I really want to do that. Like, that's on my high on my bucket list.
The Virunga.
I can't wait to do that. I want to open a school over there.
Okay.
I want to open a school in Detroit.
Okay.
Culinary Institute for me.
I want to go
Business
back and buy
culinary.
all of the old houses that we lived in Detroit, and I want to open them up to like either group homes or for people who
Feel you.
went through traumatic experiences, specifically like women and kids. Ooh, you good, Shannon. You got me thinking of shit that I would tell nobody but my family. I really want to do. I want to act for sure. Like I said, that's why we stepping into Shadow again, to Churchy, and to Kev on stage. We do an international food tour next. I think that's really big on my bucket list, is going and exploring different cultures and different cuisines and touching different people that look like us in different places.
Would you ever consider opening a restaurant?
It's a lot of work to go into opening a restaurant. We just met Mark Wahlberg at his restaurant like a week ago, and seeing him walk around at his opening and seeing how he handled it and like how he like was maneuvering around him having his own restaurant was the first time where we had a conversation that we would have a restaurant.
Real talk. It'd be easier if you got a name for yourself, so people coming just based on the name, but. And then you got some money, so you ain't got to be there all the time. You can pay people to do what need to be done. As long as your food is good, this restaurant is going to establish. It's going to stay established. It's going to turn into something great. That's why I was talking about when I think in part 1 of this video, part 2, when COVID hit. You know what I mean? Time promoted and exposed some of them. Promoted some and exposed some other ones. You know what I mean? They was barely getting by, half step and everything else, closed. You know what I mean? And then the ones that was good, they stayed open. But the flip side of that is it's a difference between having a restaurant and a restaurant having you. You know what I'm saying? That's what we don't want. When I first went to culinary school, I thought I wanted a restaurant. Now I feel like catering is the way to go. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord blessed me to have a restaurant with those a lot of those caveats I just talked about. It'll be a lot better, and it's more so for my kids, so my sons and them, so they can have those businesses going and whatnot and turn them into something. One of them love cooking. They both love cooking. As a matter of fact, one of them is a business major. The other one loves business as well in his own way. So, yeah, who knows what God may have in store for him.
I respect the game. Like I said, I respect what go into it. I respect the the ins and outs, and I know it's stuff that I don't even know about it yet. So yes and no, because I feel like that's one of the hardest games to get into, and people really don't realize that. They think it's just food.
Well, Keith, bro, I appreciate you.
That's just crazy.
I appreciate you with the food tour.
Likewise, brother.
Much success, continued success, bro. It's been an honor.
I appreciate you.
Keith Lee.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Bonus footage. So before we hop into that, I just wanted to say this is an awesome interview again. 3 hours, and it's not really a waste of time. It says here 220, but you know it's a 3 hour video. I don't know what the bonus footage is on. I don't know if I'm gonna be stopping and going, but he's inspired me just a little bit more. You know what I mean? To basically stick to what what the Lord got for you. You get what I'm saying? So hey, Keith Lee, I wish you the best. Shannon, you're doing your thing, man. Life at the football has been great for you. So my hat's off. Like literally, my hat's off. Shannon, you never played for San Francisco before, but my hat is off to you. You know what I mean? It's a great interview. So for those who want to sign off, again, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment. Make sure you subscribe to this page. This is Chef Ron's page. And, there's other pages, like I said, Father Lessons for Fatherless Sons. That's what it's going to be. But it's Father Lessons. And the other one is DJ Ron, the classic DJ from the Bay. You get what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm going to sign off. But I'm going to let the video keep on rolling because like I said, I'm just going to watch it. So if you're here with me, shout out to you. You know what I mean? Shout out to you if you're watching it, period. You know what I'm saying? We're taking a look at it, period. But shout out to you if you're going to stay here. Bonus footage.
Do you eat fast food, man? Do you eat fast food?
I don't eat no fast food. The fastest food I eat is Chipotle. But yeah, no, I rarely go to drive-thrus. I really don't eat fast food for the most part.
Drive-thrus.
You don't let the girls get McDonald's?
I don't eat McDonald's.
Ah, man.
There you go.
Y'all done grew up on, your wife done grew up on McDonald's. Y'all done grew up on McDonald's, and now y'all deny these kids.
But now it's different because I got parents, right?
Right.
Both of my parents are still alive, and they are amazing grandparents.
Right.
And they are so amazing that they do whatever the kids want and not what I tell them to do.
Exactly.
So they get McDonald's with them, absolutely. Yeah, they get the Happy Meal, the full experience. So to them, they absolutely live the life that I lived as a kid.
Right.
But when Daddy around, yeah, we don't get fast food.
Where's the best place to take a lady on a first date?
Ooh, the best place. It depends on the connection, right?
Okay.
I think that's always been the biggest conversation of like, you got to spend this much on the date, you got to spend that
brand
much.
brand new
Can we
girl.
go get the oxtail plate?
Yeah, it depends on what you
Man,
feeling.
Keith, you know
We
good
can go
well
get
today.
some oxtail. We go get some barbecue. I'm talking about get messy. I'm a foodie, bro. We go get some food, some sauce. I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
You're saying nowadays that's not the culture.
Yeah, no.
But I'm blessed enough to say when I found my wife, I really didn't have no money at all to my name, and we went to a place that's here in Vegas. It's called Brio, and it was like an Italian spot, but it's pretty much like a elevated Olive Garden. But nowadays, you can't go to no Olive Garden.
No.
My
on
wife
the list.
can.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Cheesecake Factory, Olive
I'm
Garden.
looking at a lot of these restaurants. Either some are closing down a lot of their stores, some are just going out of business. You look at Red Lobster's, Hooters, Cracker Barrel, Applebee's,
Red
TGI
Lobster.
Fridays, Denny's, Outback, Hardy. If they came to
Hardy's
us
going
and
out of
Keith,
business? Carl's Jr. going out of business?
give us a review of what you believe that could help us be the restaurants we once were. Because in our childhood and upbringing, we were these places were lit. What would you go in there? I mean, you've had, I don't know how much of the, I mean, I'm sure you've had Red Lobsters. I don't know if you had Cracker Barrel or anything. That's normally
That
a
was
southern
Cracker
thing.
Barrel.
But how
I
would
was
you,
told not to go.
how would you go in there and like sample the food and like, okay, this is what I think.
What
you
advice
have to
would
do.
I give
Yes.
for them to stay open or
Yes.
flourish how we
Yes.
remember them flourishing? It's changing with the times, right?
Red Lobster need to know
so a
your
lot of
worth
those restaurants,
and charge
especially
accordingly.
like chain
Get your-
restaurants,
get your coin.
they
Food was
get,
good.
in my opinion, get complacent in what was. Because like you said, we've been going for years. I think a lot of them get stuck in that and not really on social media, not in a place where everybody got their phone in their hand at all times. There is a huge market and demographic to hit just being relatable,
Right.
where people can feel like they seen
Okay.
and feel like they are understood when it comes to these restaurants. So if I was to give any advice, especially somewhere like a Red Lobster, or I feel like the main focus should be what people come there for, right?
Yeah.
Them Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Yeah.
That's what people come for.
They're cutting out the bottom of shrimp.
They need
See,
to.
I'm allergic to shellfish, so
Yeah.
And cut out
I've
the
always
bottle
heard
of
people
Cheddar
talk
Bay
about the Cheddar Bay
biscuits.
But it's
Limit
marketing,
two.
but it's marketing
Purchase
in a
more.
way where we continue to push the times. We get younger people on the team.
Right.
We get people who understand the scopes of social media. We get people who understand what people are looking at on a day to day. We get people who understand the culture, and we bring them in and we integrate that into the actual business.
He's absolutely right. I remember being a part of a business venture. It was network marketing. I don't know how you feel about it or whatever. A lot of the teachings, most of the teachings relate to everything, and he's absolutely correct. And I'm gonna tell you why I know it's correct. But what we was learning, they said the new blood is a lifeline of business. In other words, the new people that come in, they're the ones, because they're going to come in, they're going to be excited and everything else. They're not going to be the ones who become stagnated and gotten comfortable and not ready to try to reach the next level. They're going to come in trying to take it to another level. Like he said, with the young people, everybody got their phones in their hands and whatnot. You need some young people to come in there and show you how to turn this thing around, Red Lobster. Places like that. Red Lobster got an app, and I'm not sure how to, I haven't earned a reward, but here's how I know that it's true. When I was in college, and I went to get my degree, my first semester I had all these classes. It was statistics, it was biology, science, and it was English. And I didn't know. I just was blind going in. I had this huge workload and everything else. And I remember at the end of the semester that I didn't pass two of the classes, the science class and the health class. I didn't pass because I thought statistics was going to be my problem. I got a C in statistics, actually a B. Had the best teacher ever. Shout out to Mr. T. And then passed the other two. And then when I was talking to the counselor for the next semester, she was like, Sister Two, she was like, no, you don't never take these three classes at the same time. And I was like, I didn't know. So therefore I was open to getting more information, being real receptive to, getting some wisdom about how to go about them. Then my science teacher, shout out to him, I can't even remember his name. The man knew so much, and it was his first semester. He knew so much that if you were a science major, you love him. Matter of fact, he transformed the lady that was sitting next to me, her name was Justine, made her become a science major because she was like loving him. And he was raw. You know what I'm saying? But not for somebody who was not a science major. I'm just taking this class. I'm like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just taking this class so I can get my degree. You know what I'm saying? So that was the other thing she gave me. She said, you never take a class with a first-time semester because they going to be, you know what I mean? And I said then, I knew before this lady even told me that, I said, by the time the third semester come around, he going to be so into his curriculum, he going to be one of the best teachers here. And I think he's still teaching now. I graduated 2018. Shout out to the class of 2018 degrees in restaurant management, culinary arts, and business management. You know what I'm saying? So here's the moral of the story. I took some classes that wasn't so stressful, stuff that I wanted. I took an African studies class by a lady who was from Africa. I believe she was from Libya. And I hadn't had a crush on the teacher in a long time. African lady, but remember, I'm there for my grades. I'm locked in. However, she could have been one. But anyway, she was saying that, we have these pictures, these images of Africa and what it's all about. And she's like, it's not like that. And as a matter of fact, the majority of the population, 70% of the population in Africa are under 30 years old. And they are the ones that are steering the ship, that are making sure that it's not living up to those bad stereotypes. So Africa is this beautiful, beautiful place. That's why I'm with Keith Lee. I'm like, man, I need to get there too. It's on my bucket list. I don't know about no gorillas and nothing like that, but I like to get there too, just to see how it's thriving. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to become a passport bro. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I don't know about that last part, even though I thought about it, but you know what I'm saying. Let's go.
I feel like a lot of chain restaurants don't do anymore.
Man, but a lot of women in today, they want to photograph their food. Chicken tenders are not photographable.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff
I
that
didn't ever think about it like
these
that,
places
Shannon.
present,
That's real
people
talk.
ain't really wanting to put that. They want to put the presentation. They got it.
About me and you, though. Let's communicate. Let's bond.
I mean,
turn it into something.
When did this happen? When did it become vogue or fashionable that every
Social
time
media.
you go eat, we got to take a picture of what we're eating?
I tested the Instagram. So when Instagram first came around, it was, I don't know if you remember how Instagram was when it first came, but Instagram was very like, you post everything in your day to day.
Okay.
Like you even saw people like LeBron James and people who we had no accessibility to, and day to day posting stuff like just walking outside of the house or like going in his car. And I feel like that's where it stemmed from, is making more of a community when it comes to who you able to reach. But I feel like a lot of times, like I said, it's more or less of like getting left behind. Because if I was Red Lobster, when that whole conversation was going around about girl going to the restaurant for the first time, and y'all saying we don't go to restaurant, or we don't go to Red Lobster for the first date and all of that. If I'm Red Lobster, I'm capitalizing on that completely. I'm on social media the whole time. Like this is why you come to Red Lobster. Like, and I feel like the reason why a lot of those opportunities are missed is because they don't reach back out to people, not only who look like us, but people who are of my generation. Like I said, I'm 28, so
just said this.
That generation of 22 to 28, it's like people.
Real business major, and peep this though. I also do consulting as well. Though business consulting, you got a new restaurant or whatnot. It's some shoots and ladders that you want to avoid, the pitfalls and stuff like that. I know this stuff. You know what I mean? I know enough to not want a restaurant no more, because like I said, I know what it can entail. I know the food. Our food is good, but that's just not my thing. I don't want to be 7 days a week towards this restaurant. You know what I mean? Anyway, I got some consultation for you too. Get at me, DM me or whatnot. You got a new restaurant. Matter of fact, you want to get into the cooking field, you want to do meal prep and stuff like that, holler at me. There's some ways to do it that I learned the hard way back in 2009, 2010 that I can share with you. It'll just make your slope so much more easier. So it'll make your transition so much smoother. Here we go.
They didn't grow up eating Red Lobster like a lot of places.
Exactly. And it's like, I feel like it gets left behind from generation. But if you tap into Twitch, you tap into TikTok, you tap into all these different platforms where kids really are on Twitch nonstop. You see, shout out to Kai. Kai has a community. You tell Kai to go tell people that Red Lobster, you can go on a first date and take a girl on a first date. Everybody gonna be taking a girl on a first date to Red Lobster. I think it's just more or less of connecting with the culture and connecting with the people.
Yeah.
Which I'm blessed enough to be able to do.
You paid
Really Red Lobster
restaurants rent for like 3 months. How do you decide who to give money to? What goes into that process?
You said it already, but let's hear it.
You say it's a team. Your wife, your sister's here with you. You guys go in there. You sample the food. How do you determine who's going to get money?
On a spiritual level, I pray about it and I do what I feel like I'm supposed to, and that literally has no guidance behind it, other than just strictly from what I believe is God.
Right.
Is literally like whatever number come in my head, I do it. Okay. But from a business perspective, when we go into a restaurant and we feel like there's a possibility that once we leave, there will be a line out the door, or there will be people, like I said, jumping on the plane, coming to try the food. That's when we think about it. Okay, what does this restaurant need immediately to be able to be successful if tomorrow is out the door?
Right.
And that's where the tips will come included, like the restaurant that you spoke on. If, in our minds, if we don't tip or if we don't pay up the rent for 3 months and people come for just this month and they get a big boom, but they still close the month after that, or if they don't have the time in order to get adjusted, because they were talking about they were 3 months behind rent.
Wow.
So if they didn't have the time to get adjusted, it would have been a boom and that was it.
Right.
And then, God forbid, the restaurant would have closed. That 3 months allowed them to have the time not only to adjust to the crowd, but to market with each other and come up with. It gives you that time to relax, like that time to think about it. Because when you're in survival mode, you don't have any time to think about game plan.
Anything else.
So it was more of a cushion to allow them to step out of survival mode for a second and step back into the business perspective.
You don't post bad reviews. You normally say, look, we tried 4 or 5 different spots. Sometimes the spot might not have what you came for on the menu. And you just, instead of saying anything bad, you just leave that out. Is that something that happens frequently? How often does it happen? And then how do you just bro, I'm trying to get y'all some positive vibes.
So we don't post spots that I don't have any constructive criticism for.
Okay.
So we post spots that people can deem as bad if it's honest and I feel like it's not the best food in my opinion, I'm going to say it.
Right.
But if it's no constructiveness out of it and I don't see any way that people can spin it into a positive way, then I don't post it. And that happens, I would say, if we go to 20 spots in the city, I would say 8 spots get posted. 20,
Oh,
25.
$10.
Because again, we go on to mom and pop spots.
Right.
We go on to spots that are unknown. There is a different category of why these spots aren't known, and it can either be unprofessionalism, it could be the food isn't good,
Right.
It could be that they half-ass and they just don't care about the quality of the food itself, or the healthliness. Is that the word I'm looking for?
The cleanliness.
The cleanliness, like they just don't care about the cleanliness. So there's a lot of aspects and things that go into it. But we just left a spot. We're not gonna say the name of it, but they known for burgers,
Right.
And they didn't have no burgers,
Right.
And it's the
offered us
middle of the day.
turkey.
They offered us turkey burgers instead.
I'm just trying to figure out, Keith. And I was talking to your
Call you
sister
back,
and your
one of
mom
my
and your
classmates.
wife
Call her back.
about if it's 9:00 at night and the line was around the building, I could understand
Absolutely.
that. But how do you not have ground beef at 1:00 in the afternoon and you just open at 10 or 11?
And it's pretty slow in there right now
It's-
because it's a mom and pop spot. They don't really have
Yes.
marketing. And again, that's what they known for, right?
Yes.
So,
you known for burgers, beef, but you offer turkey?
it's one of those things where, again, if I wanted the clout and I wanted to be a celebrity and I wanted the views specifically, I'm posting it,
Right.
not even thinking about it. But I understand there's
Maybe
other
a
things
reason.
that
Maybe the
exactly.
shipment didn't come in. And
Exactly. There's so many other aspects that comes into running a business that we don't see on the forefront, and I take all that into consideration. If I wanted attention, we would have been on Instagram Live right now talking about, we at such and
Expert,
such, and I'm with Shannon Sharp, and they didn't. But
I'm gonna come back and try it. You said that it's a spot for burgers. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come get one and check it out.
and what I really want to be very clear, I'm okay with being the one who get tore down before the restaurants get tore down.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration, or they don't really care about it as much. This is my first time speaking on this, and it's probably going to be my only time speaking on this. I feel like I get a lot of that other restaurants or other businesses could get, but because I feel like I'm really built for this and I'm meant for this and God put me here, I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with people having a misconception about me rather than them having a misconception about the restaurant. I don't think people take that into consideration because it's so many different places. When we went to DC, we went to a lot of places, and a lot of places that were very uncleanly. It was places that literally didn't have running water, and it was fully serving.
They supposed to be shut down
food,
too.
and
No water.
people was
Bad
using it.
water.
My family went in and used the bathroom, couldn't flush the toilet, and it's just like it's stuff like that. And it was serving chicken, and they was cooking out of like water bottles. Like that's where all of their water came from. Was water bottles. So they washing hands and cooking out of water bottles. I didn't put them on blast. I didn't put that. I took the flag for it, and I got death threats.
I didn't want to post that. Pause, but that would get you shut down in California. You know, to be a chef in California, you have to be food safety certified. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things you're talking about. You know what I mean? If the water is not sufficient, you got the place to shut down immediately. You know what I mean? Got to have some good fresh water and hot water on top of that.
Because I said that we went to a bunch of spots and I wasn't gonna post them. Instead, I could have just posted it and let the restaurant be the one to get the flack. But I'm really God's soldier. I feel like I'm really one of them, and I think God uses me as a vessel. And I know my skin is strong, and I know God put me here for a reason.
Right.
And like I said earlier, I'm gonna duck off in a few years.
Right.
So while I'm here and I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to do, you can call me whatever you want, man.
Right.
My intentions are pure.
You spent some time in the Bay, so how was that experience?
Here we go.
Interesting, to say the least. Have you been to the Bay lately?
Speak on it.
I have. Well, let's see. They lost the Raiders. They lost the A's. They say they lost Keith Lee. So right now the
They
Bay
just
came
lost
over.
the In-N-Out, the very first In-N-Out to ever close.
Really? Mm-hmm. Damn.
And a lot of that is attested to the crime.
In-N-Out Burgers is a California staple restaurant. Always got fresh ingredients, fresh cut fries, and everything. And I was going to comment on it earlier. You know, fast food, that's one burger place that I like going to. In-N-Out, it's the same. It hit every single time. You know what I mean? So they closed the one in Oakland down because people's cars and stuff was getting broken into. I talked about the beginning. He's talking about it a little bit more. I'm going to take it back so we can go for it.
They say they lost Keith Lee. So right now the
They
Bay
just
came
lost
over.
the In-N-Out, the very first In-N-Out to ever close.
Really? Mm-hmm. Damn.
And a lot of that is attested to the crime. A lot of that is attested to the overpopulated drug use that's out there. A lot of places have drug use, right?
Correct.
A lot of places have crime. I think what separated the Bay was that they have in my opinion, indoctrinated into the culture. So when we first announced that we was going to the Bay, there were multiple news articles saying Keith Lee might get bipped. And bipping is where they take spark plugs or they take a device where they put it up to the window, they shatter it in a second, grab your stuff, and they out within 5 or 10 seconds with everything that was in the car.
Right.
I've been to a bunch of places that was considered hood. We went to Chicago, and Chicago was one of the best places I've ever been to.
Right.
And Chicago is the top of murder capital, or top 5, I would say. In the Bay, there was a different sense of like almost pride that some people were taking in it. Like, he gonna get robbed when he here.
Right.
People that come here, y'all better, if you ask anybody from the Bay, or I've seen interviews where they ask people from the Bay, what's the number one advice that you give to people? And the first thing they say has nothing to do with the food, has nothing to do with the experience. It's take everything out your car the second you get here because you gonna get robbed.
Wow.
And for me, I felt like that was more precedence than the food itself, because God forbid, somebody hopped on a plane after we review a spot to go try the food. They leave the airport and they get robbed.
Let me just say this. I'm doing this. This is my first time saying it. It's like, hopefully it's yours. So I don't know what he's going to say, but I know what he's going to say. I'm from the Bay. DJ Ron, the class DJ from the Bay. Richmond, California. Bay Area, California. But Richmond, for those that don't know, we're in a triangle. We are about 12 miles from Oakland, 20 miles from San Francisco, but you got to go to Oakland to get to San Francisco. So we drive from Richmond, we hit Oakland, make a right, cross the bridge, San Francisco, and then also for those who know Mac Dre or E40, it's Vallejo. So we're the center point between Oakland and Vallejo. You know what I mean? So Richmond, we don't have that problem in Richmond per se, but the people from Richmond go to Oakland and San Francisco and do the things he's talking about, bip your vehicles.
And they say, I got robbed trying to Keith Lee recommended spot. So I took that into consideration. People with these families, they have children. I got robbed trying to Keith Lee. I felt like that would...
He said he recommended places and he didn't want people to say that they got robbed trying to place where he recommended. That's crazy.
More precedence than the food itself, because God forbid, somebody hopped on a plane after we review a spot to go try the food. They leave the airport and they get robbed. And they say, I got robbed trying to Keith Lee recommended spot. So I took that into consideration. People with these families, they have children. If a child was to get robbed or a child was injured in any sort of facet that had anything to do attached with me, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night because I take this very serious. So I was okay with people from the Bay being mad at me for saying it. Somebody had to say it.
It's the truth.
We got sent to the Tenderloin in the Bay.
Yeah,
the Tenderloin is Skid Row on
steroids, he's finna say. The Tenderloin is where the new 49er rookie, he was in that area. I don't know who on his PR team told him to go there and why they didn't tell him to not go there. But that's where he went. I guess he was doing some autographs, something like that. Then he decided to go shopping in that area. And they tried to rob him. Tenderloin. It's the heart of downtown San Francisco. You don't want to go to the Tenderloin. So let's go back. Here we go.
Okay with people from the Bay being mad at me for saying it.
I'm glad I do this bonus footage. I know you glad you're here too. This is some good stuff right here. You talking about home though.
Somebody had to say it.
Right.
We got sent to the Tenderloin in the Bay. The Tenderloin is Skid Row on steroids.
Wow.
The Tenderloin, when I
Who's
tell
that
you,
city?
it was people in the middle of the streets doing hard drugs, sitting crisscross applesauce with no care in the world. And it was kids walking around. It was people with families. And they literally was just out doing whatever they felt like doing. And it was a restaurant smack dab in the middle of that people told us that we had to go try.
Was people actually in the restaurant?
Yeah, people were just sitting there eating, and then you step outside, and it's when I say like burnt cars, it's burnt trailers, it's things that almost look inhuman. And again, there's other cities that go through these same struggles, right? I just refuse for anybody that went out there after us to
get in trouble,
be put in any harm's way without me acknowledging that.
Right. Well, they need to know what they were going to get themselves into.
Exactly. And I feel like if I
the full experience, not just the food, but what you were probably might have to deal with in order to go sample the food.
And I feel like if I didn't say that, it would be irresponsible on my end.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't think that deep. They just was like, oh, he said the Bay food was bad. The Bay has some of the best Michelin star restaurants in the world. They have some of the most diverse food in the world when it comes to
All kind
other
of
ethnicities,
cuisines.
other cultures,
Yes,
other
sir.
backgrounds. That I've never doubted for a second. It has some of the best fine dining and elevated dining, but the safety was what we was most concerned with, and the accessibility to being able to see that. Like I didn't want my kids or anybody else's kids to be exposed to that just to go get a burger or some catfish or something like that.
Have you reviewed any of the restaurants that Drake mentioned in the song?
Yeah, actually, that's funny you said that. We went to a restaurant we was in Toronto that they said was his favorite restaurant, and we ended up going twice in the span of 2 days, right? Yeah, we went the day.
good.
We went once, and then it was so good, we went back literally the next morning.
What are they known for?
It was a steakhouse. What was the name of it? I do not know the name of it. But it was, they literally had a chair that was like specifically like Drake's chair. Yeah. But why Drake out of all people?
Yeah.
Drake.
Because I mean, he had a. I mean, because I think the thing is that he has, he loves Carbone and the Polo Lounge. Have you ever been to the Polo Lounge? Giorgio Baldini's. I've been there. In Polo Lounge. If you like pasta, you'll like it.
Understood.
Yes, but it's a spot to be seen.
Understood.
I mean, paparazzi gonna come. Everybody, that's somebody gonna go there.
Oh, see, I
so
do the opposite.
paparazzi is lined up. So when you walk, they're like, well, damn, who in here? You got 15,
Everybody.
You got 15 paparazzi waiting to get.
That's probably why I ain't been there yet.
Yeah.
For sure.
Celebrity restaurants. Have you tried Bun B Trio Burger?
I have. Shout out to Bun B.
What you think about the smash burger?
Amazing.
Really?
Is that right?
It's different because you only see quote unquote celebrities going and they saying, oh, it's good. And it's hard to take that at face value. But in my opinion, that was an amazing burger. We had it maybe 3 times already.
Wow. Tyra Banks has an ice cream. Candy Burroughs, Old Lady. Lil Baby has a seafood. Have you, I think Tip and Killer Mike got a seafood spot over in Bankhead. Have you been?
I haven't been. Nope. Shout out to T.I. though. He does amazing things in the community.
Yeah.
Keith Lee don't do seafood.
You a dessert? You like dessert?
So I don't like sweets, but I like things that are balanced. So I like a sweet that's not like super sweet. Like, I'm starting to get old, bro. Like I don't like nothing that make my teeth hurt.
Right.
Yeah, I like a balance.
Barbecue. Give me the 5 cities that do the best barbecue.
From where we've been so far,
Dallas, Texas.
I haven't had any barbecue that was better than Texas.
You like pork or beef ribs?
Depends.
I like pork ribs, but that's only pork I eat for real. Pork ribs and bacon. I don't eat really like nothing. Like I don't
Terry
like
Black's
pork
beef
shoulder
ribs.
or like
You don't like
nothing else.
brisket or anything
I don't really like brisket, but I like beef ribs every now and again. But beef ribs heavy, bro. They real greasy. You feel like you gotta go to sleep afterwards.
I ain't gonna doubt it. I'm gone.
I'm gone. Yes, all right. Yeah.
So barbecue. So you like pork ribs.
Shout out to Hutch's Barbecue in Dallas, Texas.
I gotta get the Hutchins.
Do you
I
like
heard they was good.
hot links?
My
I mess
favorite.
with hot links.
Links.
I'm a sides person too. I love potato salad.
Potato salad.
I love
Potato salad. Hot or cold?
Warm.
hot or cold.
Barbecue sauce get on.
You make hot potato salad? You make hot potato salad?
With fresh,
Room
right out the
temperature.
bag. Absolutely.
Nah, I'm a.
You cold it, you
I'm a
let
cold
it
potato
let it
salad.
refrigerate.
Let mine marinate.
Okay.
Let all them flavors get in there, coagulate.
I feel you,
and
let that
see-
barbecue
chill
sauce
with each
touch
other.
the meat.
Yeah.
So
Well, that was-
mac and cheese, your favorite side. Mac and cheese, baked beans, collard greens.
There's a debate going on right now as we speak. Shout out to Teeny on TikTok. There's a debate going on about soupy mac and cheese and baked mac and cheese. Which side do you feel like you fall on?
I think I take baked.
Baked.
You a bake? So you like a macaroni pie?
I mean, I don't like it soupy, but I don't like it hard either. I like it I like a combination.
Understood.
Cream,
So
yeah,
would you
cream
prefer
is
cheese sauce or would you prefer like eggs and like old school eggs and milk and
Old school.
evaporated milk
Yeah,
with
old
the
school.
eggs
Yeah,
and throw it in an oven?
He know the recipe.
I grew up in a different era. When I make mac and cheese, I make a cheese sauce. So I make a roux. I let
done
it
that
sit
too.
and simmer and get real ooey gooey.
Add
And
some
then,
cheese
but
to it.
I'm still, I throw mine in the oven.
Yeah.
Mine got to sit in the oven for at least 30 to 45.
Right.
Maybe even an hour, depending on how brown and crispy I want on the top. And I'm paprika. I'm a smoked paprika kind of person. I know in different cultures, they don't really value the color as much.
No.
For me, I need a little sprinkle of that paprika, some parsley.
Okay.
Yeah, it got to look. I'm very big on visuals.
You visual. Okay.
For sure.
Cornbread.
Sweet butter cornbread.
Jalapeno, blueberry,
Regular.
My son Darren make the best cornbread ever. My Aunt Mary make a good one too, but Darren, I don't know what he do to it. He make the best cornbread ever.
It
Just
could
had to
be.
say that.
If you want some spice, you want to flare it up, some jalapeno.
Okay.
But if my perfect idea order,
Onions
if
in
I'm
that
going
be
to a
good,
barbecue
too.
spot,
My mother
I'm
used to
getting
make
some
like that.
ribs.
Okay.
I'm getting, there's a thing in Dallas, Texas called a Texas Twinkie.
Okay.
It's a jalapeno that's wrapped in bacon,
Yeah.
filled with cream cheese, but filled with beef brisket, and it's broiled and it's slathered with a bunch of barbecue sauce.
Oh, my.
It is insane. I ain't never had cream cheese and brisket in the same dish.
I
but
would have never
had
thought
that.
about putting it together.
Oh, it's insane. I need one or two of them.
Okay.
For sure, need some mac and cheese.
Yes.
Collard greens.
Okay.
Yes,
and they will attest to this. My family will. I'm eating all this in one sitting. I'm an eating man.
Wow.
I need some cornbread for sure. I need a lemonade on the side, and I need some peach cobbler from Hutch's Barbecue.
Does the
try
cornbread
that.
have to be
That's
cooked in a
jealous.
skillet?
Got to be crispy on the edges, and it got to be real butter in the middle. I
That's
don't like
theirs.
margarine. I don't like. Don't believe it ain't butter. Can't believe it ain't. I need butter, like thick butter, like churn.
Square or slice?
Square, for sure. Again, crispy on all of it. Again, you talking my language. Crispy on all edges.
I saw it on a video. Somebody made sweet potato cornbread. Have you ever tried
It was gas. I love sweet potato cornbread.
Damn.
Heard of
It's
it.
the
got
same
that
as
in
cornbread. I doubt it. I ain't had it yet. I don't think. But it's the same as cornbread. It's just a little more decadent because you get that real denseness
Yeah.
from the sweet potato.
Right.
And you get that like extra layer of sweetness. Yeah, sweet potato cornbread is. We just had a place in Seattle that had sweet potato hoe cakes. It was like a pancake.
Yeah.
It was made out of like cornbread. Oh my God, crazy.
What's the ideal brunch for you? Give me the brunch. If
When I'm
Keith and
ordering-
his family's going to order brunch, what are you ordering?
I need a skillet. The skillet gotta have either steak and peppers in it, or it gotta have spicy chicken with some kind of onions, peppers, garlic. I'm very heavy on garlic. So I need my skillet on the side with a sunny side up egg
Okay.
or a poached egg.
Okay.
Eggs Benedict.
Okay. I like egg benedict.
Super. I love the hollandaise sauce, so I need extra hollandaise sauce. Need bacon on top of it because I'm a texture
some
person, so I
bacon
need the
on top.
crunch.
Okay.
Blueberry pancakes, either blueberry lemon pancakes or just regular blueberry pancakes.
Okay.
And a tall orange juice. And again, I'm eating all that in one sitting.
Wow. So you're not really a waffle or French toast type of one.
French toast is my wife.
Okay.
My sister is gluten intolerant, so every time we go out, she always gets like bacon, eggs, not bacon, bacon, fruit, and like I said, orange juice.
Right.
So I kind of dibble and dabble off their plates when we outside.
Right. You mentioned Kevin Hart reached out and wanted you to try his restaurant. I think he had a vegan restaurant. I don't think it's no longer open anymore.
I believe they just closed all locations, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, did he?
I think I just saw that maybe like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it was delicious. I don't even eat
Called it
vegan
Hard
food.
House.
Right.
I thought I was gonna be honest.
with
He called me while I was in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, and I'm like, Kevin, what are you calling me for?
Right.
And he like, I want you to come try the restaurant. And I was like, I'm gonna tell you straight to your face. If, in my opinion, it's not good, I'm gonna say that. And he took it he took it literally at face value. He took exactly what I said.
Right.
And that video, if I'm not mistaken, did like 10 million views in the first like 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, it was crazy.
Who would you like to collab with? Have you thought about partnering with anybody? You gonna keep it
Downtown?
solo, do your own thing?
So normally, and again, I'm giving you stuff that I don't give other people
Right.
because I don't really do interviews, and I specifically don't do that because I be wanting my family and the restaurants to be on the forefront.
Right.
If anybody else was to ask me, I would honestly say my wife is the biggest person that I want to collab with because as long as me and her can sit in the car together and eat food and just travel around the world, I'm more than enough, and that's more than enough for me.
What
but-
if you and I did like a
When on Shannon,
10-part series where we travel and we eat some like really exotic food, like
Me and you?
raccoon, possum, squirrel.
take me to Georgia, where
exotic
you
about
said
some
you lived in
raccoon?
the outhouse, and peeing until you was 22. Show me what they eat down there.
I don't know if people. Now my sister can cook a mean raccoon. Now she probably got one in the freezer right now.
What's your sister's name?
Libby.
let's go get some livid raccoon. But see, for me, I don't do collaborations based on who a person is.
Right.
Only time you've ever seen me in a video with somebody is somebody that I truly like or somebody that I've respected or
Totally
somebody I'm
understand.
friends with.
Yep.
So when we had the first conversation, I specifically told you, I've been watching you for years. Like, I'm not doing this because it can boost me as a person or boost my...
What you were saying?
What did you say?
Even when we had the first conversation, I specifically told you, I've been watching you for years. Like, I'm not doing this because it can boost me as a person or boost my...
What you were saying?
I didn't hear what he said.
We've been trying.
we
to
have.
Oh, you trying to do it for you?
I
Okay,
reached
okay.
out to you like September of October last year, and we've been trying
I was
to.
very... So, I always had social anxiety, but my social anxiety at the very beginning was still as bad as it was when I was 19, 20, when I really couldn't get in front of the camera.
Right.
And I really didn't have the tools in order to be able to express myself. So when everything first took off on social media, which was in November of 2022,
Yeah.
no, December 2022. So last year was the first full year where everything was taking off. So that's when you reached out to me.
Mm-hmm.
And transparency, everybody and their mama was reaching out.
Yeah.
Not to sound cocky, but again, I specifically do it because I didn't have the tools in order to have a conversation with people that want to have conversations. I left 90% of the people that had reached out to me already.
Wow.
It's so many celebrities and so many people of super high status that other people would jump at immediately to have a conversation with that I was like, I just want to check. I'm just eating food, bro.
Right.
I just want to chill with my
Right,
family.
right.
I just want to eat, travel the world. That's more than enough
Right.
for me. Just going to different cities and doing it specifically based on food
Right.
was way more gratification and vindication I ever thought would come from this. But to answer the question of who would like to collab with, there's a few people who, like I said, I've grew up watching. Of course, Shannon being one. Like, being here is an honor of mine. And again, it's been a year in the making
Yes.
of having the conversation. I really want to do 85 South Show.
Okay, yeah.
I met Carlos.
Chico, DC.
I think I met everybody but Chico in person,
you do.
but I've had a bunch of conversations with Chico over the phone. Definitely 85. I'm gonna do SNL now that they did the SNL skit. SNL is definitely on my bucket list.
Right.
It's not necessarily a person in particular, but it's just people that I'm friends with and people that I really like connect with on a true level. Those are the people that I really want to sit with. Oh, Steve Harvey.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been watching Steve for years. What's the
Steve the
name?
man.
Ricky Smiley. Yesterday made a
what
video
Picasso
of doing an
about
impression
him,
of me.
man.
Ricky, come eat some food, man.
Yeah.
Let's go eat some food, Rick.
We come back and do this 5 years from now. Where's Keith Lee? How different is Keith Lee's life going to be?
I think fundamentally it's going to be the same because my kids are going to be at the forefront. My wife's going to be at the forefront.
Probably have another one or two, huh?
2 or 3. Me.
She's shaking her head. She's like, I told you one. You talk about 2 or 3. One.
Fundamentally, it's going to be the same. But I see generational wealth. God willingly, I see us being able to pass things down to our kids. I definitely see TV shows and movies. What that looks like, I have no idea yet. I didn't think I was going to be here.
Right.
So to think where I'm going to be in 5 years, I have no idea. All I ask, if I'm speaking to my future self, is that I remain the person that I am to this day, as far as integrity, as far as structure, as far as me not quitting. Because I got a bunch of Nipsey Hussle quotes all over me. And I feel like he's one of the people, rest in peace, that I would have wanted to meet before he passed. I feel like as long as I can stay the course, and he said in one of his interviews, I'm not a picture of perfection. I'm a picture of not giving up. All you see with me is not quitting. Like you said, I went through every emotion with this. We're trying to pursue what I'm pursuing. Every single emotion you could possibly think of attached to this, I've been through it. So as long as 5 years from now, I can look up and I'm still the same me, fundamentally and at the core.
Short Village in the Seaboard.
All my life, been grinding all my life.
Ooh, this is fire.
Hustle, pay the price.
Thanks again, y'all.
Got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life.
Appreciate you taking a look at it. Remember, this is part 3 of episode 1. If you haven't seen part 1 of episode 1, go back and look at it. Check out episode 2. And then again, this is part 3. This is Chef Ron, the classic DJ from the Bay. Also, like I said, caterer, chef, and everything. Have my credentials, whatnot. Would love to serve you, want to serve y'all. And be on the lookout for other videos. The Dilemma of a Good Man is all on YouTube. I got like 15 episodes of season 1. About to get back to season 2 in a moment. Show Improve is just some songs that I reviewed. Some of the best flows I've ever heard. Meaning it's called Flow Improve. I say Show Improve. It's Flow Improve. Meaning that these raps came out some time ago, but they have proven to be the truth over these years. You know what I'm saying? And then what's the other one? Dilemma. Oh, and Father Lessons. With my son, and who God knows who else is probably gonna be some features or whatnot on there. But Pop the Balloon is what we're starting off with as well. Pop the Balloon and Find Love. And if you go look at those videos, you know what I'm saying, by themselves, by Arletta Muley. If you go check out Club Shay, make sure you leave them a like, comment, or whatnot, and share. It won't matter to them, but it certainly matters for me because I'm just getting started with it with this particular video. It's episode 1. But I'm looking forward to do more, in the very near future. So until then, take care, and as always, God bless, and remember, it's good to be good.